Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I am a master manifester, and I know you are too because you're watching this type of content. The name of this channel is Manifesting Magic with Dr. J, and that's me. This is a quick one. I was sitting here thinking, right, it's Sunday, and I've been on the patio for about, let's say, 4 hours. I did not mean to sit out there that long. I was like, I had this big grand plan of working on all these little things I got on this giant list of administrative things that'll probably take me about an hour if I actually just focus my time and energy towards it. But I'm one of those to-do people, love to check off a list. But I was just on LinkedIn and looking at things, and there's a common idea. I was like, oh, I got to do a video about that because that's important, right? So many people, this is thread. Someone put out a thread on LinkedIn and they were like, oh, everywhere I go, people spell my name wrong, right? And they were like, it's nothing worse than when it's in an email and you sent your correct name in the tagline, and then they reply to you and your name is still spelled wrong, right? And I was just thinking like how far removed I was from even thinking about that. Like I was raised in an environment with zero expectation that anybody would get my name right. I was raised in Marrero, Louisiana. Not even the city, not even New Orleans. I mean, Marrero. I look at now and it's still like 30,000 people population, right? I mean, I was raised in a place where my name was a huge anomaly. And so when I would be in class and people would call my name on the roll, I already knew they were trying to say my name when they started stuttering, and that was my life. I didn't care because, my name was just not my identity. Hell, I didn't even pick it. My parents picked it. So it was just like, it's uncommon. So it's going to be uncommon for people to get it right. And so I don't know, somewhere along people born like maybe 5 years after me, I guess what might be considered a millennial, because I was born in like December 1979. So I'm right on the edge of that, but I'm not a millennial. But I find a lot in that culture, which the people on LinkedIn I'm connected to there, it's a big deal that everything is an insult to your identity. Like someone replies to an email and your name is Kelly and they put an I on the end instead of a Y. All of a sudden they disrespect you. They don't care about you, and that, they don't value you as a person. I was like, when did that happen? When did that happen? I mean, it's very interesting. So during that process, I'm like reading and listening and thinking, and there's so many people, like over 3,000 comments of people saying, I thought I was the only one. I thought I was the only one. I thought I was the only one. And I'm like, how can you think it is remotely possible in a world of 7 billion plus people for you to be the only one of anything? I just think that delusion right there is really harming a lot of people. When you start to believe that you are the only one first of all, it says a lot about a mindset in an ego, in an inability to look around at people in your vicinity or look around at people just on social media and see that most of them are experiencing the same stuff that you're experiencing. And that means that you're living in your head a lot of times, right? And this is not like an insult in any kind of way. It should be relief for a lot of people if you've never been told you are not the only one of anything, right? I think we get in this mindset, especially with social media and especially with these personal accounts where we post everything about our lives, and you go through people's personal Instagrams. That's why I don't have Instagram anymore. I lost interest. And it's just pictures of themselves. I'm guilty. I did it too when I was into the Instagram. But I mean, it's just, and then the different messages, but all pictures of your face in different positions. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But it's just all, and so it's like, look at me. I'm so important. And it's not that they're giving like any specific advice or trying to help people figure out big ideas or big things in their lives or helping them build businesses. And some people are. But what I mean is that there's a very average, way of looking at the world and saying that you're somehow so far above average that everybody should pay attention to you and not get you wrong, and nobody understands you, and I'm the only one that feels this way. It's like, dude, most of us are pretty doggone similar in the realm of human behavior. I was talking to my partner last night. we were talking about movies and how some of these shows would keep repeating themselves and stuff. And he was like, well, baby, in the realm of human behavior, there's not really much new things that people can come up with. You might see more of it over here or see more of it over there, but whatever it is, people have been doing since the beginning of time. And I'm like, man, that is so true. So if you ever felt like, oh my God, I'm the only one that's, that's not married. I'm the only one that's single. I'm the only one that doesn't have a college degree. I'm the only one that hates their career. I'm the only one that hates their husband. I'm the only one that needs to lose weight. I mean, come on now. You're not the only one of anything. And if you're going to use social media for something, it would be great to use social media to find other people who are, I would say, bemoaning or complaining or addressing the same things that you might be addressing. And then you'll see, well, damn, I'm not as special as I thought I was. And I'm like, over 2,000 of these comments are saying, I thought I was the only one people got the name wrong. Come on. All those different and odd names in the world that are not very common, especially if you're moving from culture to culture and from place to place. I was brought up in a different culture, living in a larger culture. And so I had no expectation that anybody would know anything about Muslim names or little kids. I had some friends that had the names, but they didn't have the last names too. So in some of the names that were more common, those probably were spelled more correctly more often, but mine was just less common. And so what I'm saying is just that sometimes we get caught up in so deep into our own head and our own stuff and our own lives that we really actually trick ourselves into thinking that we're the only one experiencing something. And we back ourselves into a corner of being silenced, being not heard, and feeling like a victim and feeling angry in situations where we could easily find some camaraderie and get over ourselves a little bit. I mean, it's just, and sometimes I guess I come off blunt, it is what it is. I just say, I am who I am. I don't mean anything negative by it. But sometimes these things just really, really hit me. And I think, man, how can you think you're the only one of anything? It just doesn't work that way, right? There's not, we want to be really, really unique, and we are unique to a certain degree. But as far as human behavior goes, and this may be the sociologist in me, it's the same everywhere you go, right? You're brought into this world. You're around people with behaviors that have been taught to them on some level. So it's behavior that's being repeated, and you're brought up into the environment and you repeat the behaviors or a combination of it. There's nothing that anybody's doing that they're doing, they're so special they're doing it. Now, if you're in an environment where you're the only one in that particular network or environment, then that means that you need to expand your horizons and your scope of who is experiencing what and how they're experiencing it. Especially when I talk to people who are introverted or they have social anxieties and stuff. And I'm like, dude, that's not a special thing anymore. Just about everybody, especially after the pandemic, spending most of their life inside their houses, And a lot of people are like, man, maybe I'm more introverted than I thought. It's just these little labels and things we pick up over time. And it's not to minimize where you're at and what you're going through and what you're dealing with. But I think knowing that you're not the only one should make you feel great, should make you feel like, oh, well, somebody else has conquered this before. Somebody else has went through this before. Somebody else is going through this and they're not offended. So maybe I can go through it and not be offended, right? I remember sitting there talking to my mom one night and she said that to me, but I'm not the only person that's guilty of it. She's like, you think you're the only one? I'm like, I really don't think I'm the only one. But when you're having like a panic attack, you kind of do think you're the only one when you're in the process of the whole anxiety attack. Kind of the last thing you need to hear is somebody telling you what you are and what you're not. So you have to just pay close attention to what you're taking on and whether or not you're giving yourself way too much credit for negative things. Because 9 times out of 10, somebody can relate to you. And relating to other people is what helps us move from one level of unconsciousness about a certain behavior to another level of consciousness. But when we keep putting ourselves on this other, oh, nobody gets me. Oh, then, okay, well, then nobody gets you. Then nobody can help you. Nobody can help you grow. Nobody can understand you. Nobody can relate to you. And that's really not a good place to be, right? So just think about that. Every time you experience something that is distasteful or something you don't care for, or something that makes you feel a certain way, go like, you know what? I ain't the only one. So if other people can manage their way through something like this, then maybe I can manage my way through something like that too, right? So, oh, that was quick, 10 minutes. Okay, cool. So that's all I got for Sunday. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a video today. I didn't plan on it, but sometimes that's one of my favorite types of videos, when a thought hits me and I actually have the time and space to address it, and I can share something with people that I think might be beneficial at some point. Because in life, I feel like if it's not for relationship and it's not for conversation with other people, we really don't know how to move from one level to the next, because where would we get the information from? How would we figure it out, right? We wouldn't even know that things were an option if other people weren't telling us or sharing something that they've already conquered, I'll say, or they've already hassled with, right? It's a very, very good world that we live in, to that extent, where we can get online and use platforms like YouTube and LinkedIn and all those social medias, and we can find this common ground and commonality with other people, and we can realize that we live in a very, very small world, right? That the world is not as big and scary as everybody acts like it is all the time, that there are people that are just like you, that maybe not from your culture, maybe they don't speak your same language, maybe they don't even look like you, but their human experiences are quite the same. And if we can get down to the part where we can connect with people based on human experiences and not these little labels that we go on about my religion, my sexuality, my gender, my race, my ethnicity, my culture, like these really specific things, and start looking at the human experience as an equal experience for all of us, we're all human, then I think we could grow a little bit faster. We won't spend so much time separating ourselves from the larger group and acting like, we're the only ones that get it. I'm the only one that knows. I'm the only one that ever did this. I'm the only one. Yeah, you're not the only one. And if you stop saying that, the people who may come around that'll show you you're not the only one will probably show up in your space, right? It's just what it is. You're not the only one. You're not the only one of anything. Me neither. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.